Have you ever wondered if tracking calories is unspiritual or legalistic, or if ignoring them is just trusting God? When it comes to our weight loss, if you've ever struggled to lose weight despite eating well, it may not actually be a lack of faith or a lack of willpower or a lack of discipline or self-control. It might be a lack of understanding how God designed your body to respond to energy and nutrition. So this episode 23, will help you see calories and macro tracking through the lens of God's order, stewardship and design, so you can approach weight loss with wisdom, freedom and confidence and actually get the results that you want. Not next year, not in 5 years' time, not in the next 3 months, but starting today. Are you ready to feel clear-minded, energized and strong in your body so you can serve God with even greater joy and purpose? Welcome friend, I'm Laura Hargrave, Master Certified Nutritionist, best-selling author and health coach with over 20 years of experience helping believers like you live vibrant, spirit-led lives through simple and lasting health habits that truly work. In this podcast, I weave together biblical wisdom, proven science, and a less is more approach to help you burn fat naturally, boost your energy and focus, and restore your body as God's living temple. So grab your green tea or your walking shoes and let's grow in wisdom and wellness that will bless you for years to come. Welcome to Health in Faith. So it's the new year and I want to invite you to join my 6-month Health for Life group coaching program for Christians, which will help you improve your metabolic health, get onto the path of natural healing and I don't want to say effortless weight loss, but fairly effortless weight loss, and that's no guarantees, but the reality is that most people, and hundreds of Christians have been through my program at this point, have kind of, even the ones that didn't particularly want to lose weight, accidentally lost weight, and some people lost a lot of weight and have kept it off. So it's a 12 module program that really is holistic, and I will guide you over the key areas that are needful for you to really thrive with your health. And as a Christian, then my passion is to support you in thriving in your calling, whether that's as a parent, as a grandparent, as an intercessor, as a preacher, pastor, evangelist, to have the energy and health to be able to do that. So my Health for Life program is a tool that will help you do that. And if I may be so bold in saying, it's unique. I don't see any other structured programs for Christians that is as expert in its approach, that has as many helpful resources and that guides through week to week training, coaching, live coaching calls, as well as a load of resources, meal plans, lots of videos, structured modules, and you get full 6 months access and coaching, and it's a quarter of the price that it's going up to shortly. The reason being, in essence, I'm moving my whole business over to a new platform, and my web guy is sorting it all out. So there's a little bit of just crossover so I fully upgraded the program in the last few weeks, but it needs to be kind of rolled out completely on the new platform. So for that reason, just for January only, to the end of January, then you can dive in for a quarter of the price. So it's just £597 English pounds, and it will come up in your currency if you're in the US or Canada. So we have lots of English Christians in the program and a couple from overseas as well, America and elsewhere. So I'd love for you to join us. You can check it out at healthinfaith.com/HFL. Okay, so let's dive into today's episode then, and we're going to be answering the question, as a Christian, should I focus on a calorie deficit for weight loss? Now, when I first started coaching, then I avoided numbers because I didn't want to overwhelm my clients. I didn't want to be obsessive or legalistic or, put that what I perceived as a burden on my clients. But I noticed that some of my clients just weren't seeing results until we introduced some simple tracking. So I just want to put that right out there up front. And if we think about it like this, just like learning to drive or learning to dance, structure helps us move towards freedom. Counterintuitive, I know. We think that structure and boundaries is imprisoning, if you like, or restrictive, but it actually produces the opposite. When we have structure, boundaries, parameters, perimeters, then that gives us order. We know where we are and we can go up to the edge of that boundary, but no further. We see that in the Bible when the Lord, created the seas. He sets their boundaries for them. I wonder if, the non-Christian world consider why the seas never, well, occasionally do, but don't deluge the land on a regular basis. And of course, that will be explained in biological or sea, I don't know what the word is, like sea biology terms, nautical terms, but we know that the Lord has set boundaries, and there is freedom in that. And it's the same with us and our eating. We need to have some level of boundary and restriction in order to have freedom. So we know where the limits are, and we can then play within those limits as opposed to just a free-for-all. Just like marriage, there is a design and there are boundaries in married life, isn't there? And that's for our protection and our safety and our blessing. The non-Christian world would tell us, oh, you can do whatever you want with whomever you want, and it's all good. Not so much. We know that as Christians. Anyway, I'm going off on a bit of a side tangent, but think about it like this way. When we learn to drive, then we have to go through this kind of rote procedure of checking our mirrors, signals and pedals, and learning to do the gearbox. I mean, it's slightly different now with electric cars and things, but back when I was learning to drive, and probably you as well, then that was the way it is. And we do these things somewhat robotically and it feels unnatural, but that's because we're learning. So eventually it becomes natural over time. Another analogy, when I was a salsa dancer, I was a kind of ballroom Latin salsa dancer for a number of years, about 8 years. And many people for the first kind of couple of years, I think because I was already musically minded, for me it was about 6 months, but in the dance of salsa, and I did New York down the line kind of cross body salsa, which is quite a technical, specific, precise form of salsa. Then you have to step on 1, 2, 3, hold on 4, move on 5, 6, 7, hold on 8. So literally me and the partners that I was dancing with and everyone else in the beginners lessons, in the improvers lessons, even into the intermediate lessons, we'd all be counting either out loud or in our head. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Until it became natural to step on 1, 2, 3, hold on the 4, hold on the 8. Okay? So, but over time, you can drop that. And there was true freedom once I was able to, it just became natural and I didn't need to count anymore. But, here's the rub. Those dancers, and the same with drivers, those people that think that they can start off with a free-for-all, I don't need to count the steps, I don't need to check my mirror, I don't need to do mirror signal maneuver, they come unstuck. And they're not going to be as proficient. It's going to be at best sloppy around the edges. At worst, it will be a disaster. And I've seen disasters on the dance floor and we've all seen car disasters, and probably many crashes we've seen have been because people haven't done these basic things. They've neglected them. So that brings us then to counting calories. Should we do that? Well, I'm going to say for most people wanting to lose weight, then the answer is yes. Absolutely yes. Because faith and structure coexist. And understanding how your body works and the facets that make it up and the different nutrients doesn't diminish your trust in God. It honors it, and it is it's a way of displaying good stewardship. Now, okay, there's going to be a small group of people who will become obsessed, and it may just not be helpful to be tracking things. I get that. And so if you have an inclination towards getting really obsessed and, then don't do it. But for the rest of us, a bit like monitoring our bank accounts as well, another analogy, if we're trying to either save money or get out of debt, then it's no good just spending willy-nilly and then checking our bank statement maybe once every few months and hoping for the best and going, oh, what a surprise. I've saved $50 this month or £100 or, I'm actually down by £200 or £3,000. So we don't just hope for the best if we're being intentional and want to actually achieve something. If we want to achieve saving $1,000 a month, there has to be a plan. And you have to look at your bank statements and you have to follow a budget, don't you? It's the same with your body. But the difference is you don't get a bank statement every month. You don't get a report on here's your calorie and energy expenditure and here's the input. And this is the difference. This is the deficit or the surplus, So we would do well if we're trying to achieve a leaner body to track for a little while. Okay. And that could be minimum, could be about a week or two, could be 6 months. My advice would be probably for about 3 months is a sweet spot. 3 months is a good amount of time to follow a weight loss program and give it a good go and work out, getting to grips with a calorie deficit. And we don't want to go too wild on this. And then after 3 months, give it a little bit of a break and then you can go again if you need to lose more weight. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, and you wouldn't be alone if you were, but Laura, calories don't matter, surely. Isn't it about macros, or isn't it about hormones, or isn't it about time of day of eating or intermittent fasting? And if I focus on any number of these things, or just exercising, or just eating a balanced diet, I don't need to worry about calories. Well, not quite, no. And here's why. Calories reflect the laws of thermodynamics, and those laws, or that law, is built into God's creation. Energy in versus energy out. It's a simple thing, and it's an immutable thing. It's physics built by our Lord. And so, calories do matter. Now, I will say that the type of calories also matter. So the difference between carbohydrates, proteins and fats is wildly different. And someone as I was for quite a few years as a vegan, high carb vegan, I was eating a really high carb diet and a very low fats diet and quite a low protein diet. I did that for years. Didn't feel great on it and I was constantly hungry. Compare that to a higher protein, good healthy fats focused diet and lower carb, then the two are night and day. And one person on the high protein, high fat diet will lose weight more effortlessly, feel more satiated than the person on the high carb diet. And don't let anyone tell you anything different. Many vegans will want to convince you of that vegan diets and high carb diets are fine. But they're not, because they don't satiate, they don't provide the nutrients that your body needs in their entirety. So yes, the type of calories matter, but also the number of calories matter, okay? So that is the law of thermodynamics and we can't get around that. So if that's the case, then when we think about tracking calories, then a helpful reframe for you might be tracking calories is about working with God's design instead of just guessing it, hoping for the best, or working against it. And studies show that a calorie deficit is necessary for weight loss. That's like basics of nutrition, and I will leave links in the blog post to some references that evidence that. So in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, for example. And so if we ignore this principle, it will slow down or stall any desire or not any desire, it will stall the fat loss that we might desire. And even with high quality foods, it's totally easy, and I know this because I've done this many times. It's really easy to eat high quality foods and gain weight by eating too much of them. So going back to our analogies of driving, dancing, maybe cooking new recipes, tracking at first, following a recipe at first until you get used to it, doing the rote number counting in my head, dancing, doing the mirror signal maneuver with driving, tracking, in other words, at first helps you to see patterns, to learn cues, to build muscle memory, and to avoid mistakes. The practical benefit here is that tracking shows you whether you're undereating, overeating, missing out on protein, and also with the availability of really good online tracking apps in our day and age, which is very different to when I first started in my nutrition coaching, then it will also track all of your many of your micronutrients, so specific vitamins and minerals. And it's been a revelation to me and my clients to, when we track, we see, consistently, Jane is not getting enough vitamin E. Jenny is not getting enough vitamin D. So we can spend out money on expensive tests, and we can spend even more money and more heartache and time and worry on having scans and, diagnostics because of a health ailment. Whereas if we just track our daily nutrients, our calories, our protein, our fat, our carbs, our vitamins, our minerals, our water intake, for example, then it kind of usurps all of that reactive stuff, and it firmly puts us into a proactive position where we can see things and potential detriments or red flags, if you like, in our diet ahead of time and do something about it in real time, rather than waiting for a blood test to show a deficiency or some kind of muscle spasms to occur or diabetes or heart issues or, any number of other health related struggles from not properly tracking what we're eating. Another thing that tracking calories and macronutrients and micronutrients in particular can help with is overcoming either binge eating or emotional eating, because many times, women especially, I think men are less self-condemning when it comes to eating food, weight, calories, all that kind of stuff. They just eat what they want and kind of get on with it. I know that's a bit of a stereotypical judgment, but that's been my experience with working with both men and women over the years. Whereas us women, we can feel, if we find ourselves craving a salty, fatty snack in the afternoon or something sweet in the evenings or chocolate or whatever, we can often think, oh, what's wrong with me? Why don't I just have more self-control? Or why am I why do I eat for emotions? Why do I eat when I'm bored? Now, okay, some of that is about self-control and applying wisdom and subduing and subjecting our body unto our will and our mind, taking thoughts captive and, ignoring fleshly impulses and all that stuff. Yeah, true. And, there's biblical wisdom in an approach like that. But we also have to factor in this as a very, very real thing for many, 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 many people that I've seen so often, is that if we're not getting enough, let's say one of the classic ones is not enough protein, then your body has an innate intuitive wisdom. And if you just feed it all this stuff, so we're in a day and age where people are overfed and undernourished. We can be eating, tubs and tubs of Pringles, tortilla chips, cakes, biscuits, pastries, croissants, whatever else, ice cream, but yet actually not having the nutrients, the nourishment that we need. Not enough iodine, not enough vitamin B1, thiamine, not enough vitamin B12, methylcobalamin, not enough vitamin D3 and K2, not enough omega fats, way too much polyunsaturated fats. You get the picture. But if we are not getting enough essential nutrients, and the main one is protein, then your body will start craving foods, and it will keep your appetite there as a way to try and get you to eat, to provide the nutrients that it's deficient in. Do you see what I mean? So again, that's another way. Once you start tracking, it becomes very obvious. You'll see a trend and you'll immediately be able to pinpoint, okay, for my age, weight, height, activity levels, my suggested, ideal amount of protein per day is X, Y, and Z. Let's say 100 grams of protein, and I'm only hitting 75 each day. And I notice that I have a desire to snack in the afternoons. Whereas if there were a couple of days where you've hit over 100 grams, oh, interesting, I ate less. I didn't feel the need to snack in the evenings. So it empowers you, and it takes away the condemnation of thinking it's all down to you and your willpower and lack of self-control when you don't eat in the way you intend to eat. So instead, let's take away that condemnation. There is no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. That's you, that's me. And so tracking can be a temporary tool to empower you to understand what's going on, to make these things become part of your everyday life and natural, just like driving now probably is for you. But you know as well as me, it wasn't to start with. It was very alien. It was very unnatural. It felt very clunky and awkward. But now, aren't you glad that you had those driving lessons, and you might have failed your test a couple of times, but you got there in the end? And now the freedom that gives you and the options it gives you the ability to work, take your children out, your grandchildren, go and visit people, 2 cities away from you or whatever. So don't miss the freedom aspect of this. Again, counterintuitive. Oh, this is restrictive. This is burdensome. No, it's not. Think the longer game. There's freedom in tracking. So to wrap up then, just want to reiterate again, tracking is temporary, but I highly recommend a really good tracking app, and I will give you my recommendation now. So tracking calories, your macronutrients, and if possible, if you can, on your app, if you can track micronutrients, as many vitamins and minerals and things as possible, then that will give you, and do it for at least a week. I recommend a month. Yeah, it's going to take you probably 10-15 minutes a day to fastidiously enter your foods for the first few days. But then after that, it will learn the foods that you have. Let's face it, most of us eat the same 15 foods, like on rotation, don't we? So, once you enter, so I made some kabocha squash, Crown Prince in our country, in the UK, Crown Prince squash muffins the other day, keto low carb muffins. And so I entered the recipe details once. It's my own recipe. It took me 10 minutes to do it, but now it's stored and I just click one muffin, done, like 2 seconds, and I've entered it for the day. So do that and see where you need to improve, and then you can stop tracking if needs be. And by all means, once you reach your goal weight, you can stop tracking. Studies show that those that track calories and keep a tally on deficit protein, fats, carbs, and whatever, gain more progress and lose more weight than those people that don't. So, okay, what do I recommend then? Well, my recommended tracking app is called My Net Diary, available at mynetdiary.com. It's really good. Why is it really good? Well, it's super friendly with a huge food database. So they say that they've got the largest database. And trust me, I've tried many, many different calorie tracking apps over the years. My FitnessPal, Chronometer, my Macros, a whole host of others, loads of others. And I can confidently say that both for US and UK foods that I've tested, it has a super high detailed database of foods. It's really easy to log, and it tracks calories, macros, and micronutrients in real time. So you can set up your goals, whether that's to lose, 10 pounds, 20 pounds. You can set a start date, an end date. It will then work out, okay, you need to be in a deficit of say 300-400 calories a day in order to achieve your goal in 12 weeks. My recommendation, set a 12-week goal, and you don't want to go under more than roughly 20-25% of your daily calories to maintain weight. If you're thinking, well, I don't know any of these, then reach out, book a one-to-one call with me. I can help you with all this. I can set you up in it all. I can work out your optimum macros for weight loss, work out a full plan to get you where you want to be in 12 weeks. That's my gig. That's what I do. So book a metabolic call with me, healthandfaith.com/breakthrough, and I can help set all this up. But you can easily do it on your own if you want. That's fine. Fairly easy to do. Monitor your progress. It's like having a personal nutrition coach in your pocket, this app. It really is very good. And for all Health and Faith listeners, if you want to upgrade to the premium version of My Net Diary, then I've got a little bonus for you. If you want a premium account, I can give you a 20% discount. Because I'm registered as a professional with My Net Diary, then they give me a discount for my clients, which is amazing, or anyone. So you don't have to be a client of mine, but just reach out, send me an email, laura@healthandfaith.com, and I will get you that 20% discount. So you can start tracking wisely and with confidence. The premium version, to be honest, you can use the non-premium unpaid version, but the premium version just allows you to set custom macros, and it's got other kind of premium features that's worth having in my view, but not necessary. So a recap then, calories are not your enemy and tracking is not unspiritual. They are tools designed by God's wisdom, the laws of thermodynamics, and we can work with that to our benefit to help your body function properly and to enable you to reach your weight goals way faster, way more predictably than just to kind of throw it all against the wall and hope something sticks approach when it comes to your diet and weight loss. So by combining awareness of calories, balanced macronutrients, and God-centered intentionality, then you can steward your body, see results, and grow in that freedom. Wouldn't it be nice to fit into your favorite pair of jeans and not feel frumpy and, I don't like the way my legs look in this? It feels wonderful to have a lean, slim stomach. It really does. And I say that as someone all through my 20s I wasn't massively overweight, but I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. Whereas now in my late 40s, I am, and it feels so much better. So that can be your reality. And remember, faith and science absolutely work together hand in hand. Honour God, honour his design, and take wise, informed action. So thanks for listening today. Look forward to seeing you soon, or speaking to you soon on the next episode. And do check out my 6-month Health for Life program for Christians. Until the end of January, you can get it for just a quarter of the price that it's going to be from then. So have a look at it, consider it prayerfully, and I would love to welcome you and coach you for 6 months to really achieve what you want to achieve with your health and weight in this next year. And that's at healthandfaith.com/HFL. So, always a pleasure to speak to you, and I hope you have a really blessed week in the Lord, and fruitful one and joyful. And I look forward to speaking to you again next week, wishing you the best of health. I hope today's episode of Health and Faith blessed and inspired you. If it did, would you take just 30 seconds to leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts? It means a lot to me and helps others find this life-giving message. Snap a screenshot of your review and email it to me for your free copy of my popular recipe book, Temple Fuel, 40 healthy, high-protein meals to burn fat, energize your walk, and transform your health. Until next time, may God bless your body, your heart, and your walk with him, and I'll see you back here next week.